What if I told you that back in 1938, when most people thought modern meant adding an extra dial to a radio, a Frenchman unveiled a car that looked more like a spaceship than an automobile? Not just any Frenchman. This was a war hero, inventor, and eccentric millionaire nursing a broken heart. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the Hispano-Suiza H6B Dubonnet Xenia, a car so futuristic that people in Paris whispered rumors of Martians. A car so stunning, it still steals trophies over 80 years later. And a car so deeply personal that every curve, every line, and every bolt was crafted as a love letter to a woman who never got to see it. Before we hit the accelerator on this story, do me one quick favor. Go ahead and subscribe. Yes, right now. Smash that button like your neighbor smashes his trash can every time he tries to reverse his pickup. Done? Perfect. Now, let's step back in time. Picture France in the late 1930s. The world was caught between jazz clubs and the rumble of war drums. Automobiles were boxy, upright, polite little carriages with engines. Then came André Dubonnet, a man who didn't quite fit in. A World War I fighter ace who once danced with death above the battlefields, he inherited not just wealth, but a vivid imagination. André wasn't content to simply buy the finest car. He wanted to reinvent what a car could be. But here's the human part. He wasn't driven by curiosity alone. He was driven by love. His wife Xenia passed away far too young. The fearless pilot who faced bullets in the sky suddenly found himself powerless against loss. So he did what dreamers do. He created something beautiful to keep her memory alive. And he named the car after her, the Xenia. Yet beneath all that romance lay serious engineering. André wasn't tinkering with a toy. He collaborated with Hispano-Suiza, one of Europe's most prestigious luxury marques. He used their formidable H6B chassis, strong enough to hold up a cathedral, as his canvas. But strength wasn't enough. He hated how cars bounced and rattled across the cobblestones of Paris. So he invented a revolutionary suspension system called Hyperflex. Imagine a car that glides not like a stiff carriage, but like a cat stretching lazily on a sunny windowsill. And the craziest part? It actually worked. So well, in fact, that companies like General Motors and Alfa Romeo licensed it. So, if you've ever heard someone brag that their old Buick rides like a cloud, well, that cloud owes a debt to Dubonnet's cat. Then there was the engine, the heart of the Xenia, an inline six-cylinder, nearly 8 litres in size, drawing directly from aircraft technology. Why? Because once André had flown at 200 miles per hour, he didn't settle for sluggish engines. The Xenia packed around 160 horsepower, which in 1938 was wild. Top speed? About 100 miles per hour, faster than most politicians change their opinions. But the engine wasn't the jaw-dropper. The bodywork was. Designed by Jean Andreau, sculpted by Jacques Souchik, and tested in a wind tunnel, a rarity in those days, the Xenia was shaped like a teardrop, like liquid metal frozen in motion. No sharp corners, no awkward angles, just smooth curves that whispered tomorrow. Its doors slid back instead of swinging out. The roof panel was removable, the windows lifted upward like wings. Elegant, dramatic, a touch impractical, exactly the kind of detail that makes a dream worth building. Walking up to it in 1938 must have felt like stepping into a sci-fi comic book. And here's the best part. André didn't just build it to admire, he drove it. He showed it off. When the Second World War broke out, he hid it away like a treasure chest, keeping it safe until peace returned. Come 1946. Paris was still healing from war scars, but then through the streets of St. Cloud, this shimmering silver phoenix rolled by. Children pointed, adults stared. For a brief moment amidst the ruins, beauty glided past on 4 wheels. The car survived decades, passing from collector to collector, treated less like a machine, more like art. People like Alan Baylor, Charles Morse, and Peter Mullin restored and preserved it, showcasing it worldwide. Wherever it appeared, Pebble Beach, Amelia Island, Goodwood, Windsor Castle, it stole the spotlight. Today, if fortune smiles, you might find it on display at the Peterson Automotive Museum in Los Angeles, glowing under the lights, still looking poised to lift off and fly. People gather quietly around it, almost afraid to break the spell. And the price? If you have $15 to $20 million lying around, maybe you could dream of owning it. But cars, like the Xenia, aren't truly about ownership. They're about admiration. They remind us that sometimes grief can create beauty, that love can outlast time, metal, and war. So when you see the Xenia, don't just see aluminum and horsepower. See André Dubonnet, a man who refused to let death have the last word. See Xenia, the woman whose name still glides across history in silver curves. And see the dream that a car can be more than transportation. It can be a love story. Ladies and gentlemen, that was the Hispano-Suiza Dubonnet Xenia of 1938. A car so rare, even aliens would need an appointment to abduct it. And, hey, if you enjoyed this journey, why not subscribe? Do it as gracefully as sliding open the Xenia's futuristic doors, smooth, stylish, and just a little ahead of its time. Share this story with a friend. And remember, if your neighbor ever claims to have one just like it in his garage, well, either he's bluffing or you live next to the luckiest alien in the galaxy.